burrito, burrito, burrito.
In the first part of my video on travel tripod, I did a comparison of several different brands and models of 12 to 14-inch tripod that are folded. So take a look at that video for on-paper spec comparison. Now, in the part 2 of this video, I will go through the hands-on comparison for these two tripods. This is the MeFOTO Backpacker S. It's a 13-inch tripod that's folded. And this tripod is very similar to the Benro Tripster Series 0 and several other models and brands. And I'll compare it with this Benro Tripster Series 1, which is same as the MeFOTO Road Trip S. And this is 14 inches folded. And at the end of the video, I will actually do a stability test comparison. First off, let me show you the operations for these tripods. The two tripods are basically the same, so I'll just show it on the smaller tripod since it's easier to manage. So this is how the tripod comes folded. And it has this inverted leg design, where you will invert the leg to put the tripod leg into operation. There are 3 angles that the legs can operate on. So this will be the widest angle or the lowest position. And there is a notch or ratchet on the legs that allow you to lock to a different position. This is the second leg angle that you can use a tripod with. And then finally, there's a third angle. Both of these tripods have 5-section legs. And it has this twist lock. It's like a quarter turn to unlock and lock. There's a 2-section center column. First position you should be using it would be with the center column down. And if you need extra height, you could extend the first column and then extend the second column. And the center column can be inverted. And to do that, you will first take out the metal hook at the bottom of the tripod. So you just screw that off. And you release first lock for the center column. Now the center column can be removed. And now if you wanted to take some macro and you want the camera to be lower, you could actually mount the center column upside down. And you can have the camera down here, which is also upside down, but it's closer to the ground or the floor. And you will screw this back on. Another feature that this tripod has is the monopod. So one of the legs can be unscrewed. That can be screwed down to the center column. And now you have a monopod. And obviously you can release the legs to get the monopod into a higher position. The tripods also come with a carrying case. It's a pretty crappy carrying case. It's like a cinch bag, not much padding at all, just a nylon bag. And this is for the MeFOTO. And for the Benro, it's basically identical. Obviously, the 13-inch is a little bit smaller, but it's not just height, it's also the leg thickness and also the ball heads. So you can see that the center column for the 14-inch is thicker, and the ball head is thicker and bigger. So the ball head on the 13-inch MeFOTO Backpacker S is about 0.9 inches, is less than 1 inch. And on the 14-inch tripod, this Benro Tripster Series 1 is a little bit larger than 1 inch, about 1.1 inch. Benro Tripster Series 1 has spike feet that you can replace. So it comes in this packet. You get 3 spike feet along with the Allen wrench. You can unscrew the rubber feet and then screw on the spike feet. Now here's a comparison of the tripods when they're folded. So you can see that there's a 1 inch difference in the length. But in addition, the volume of the tripod when they're folded is also different. Widest distance here, the width, is basically 3.5 inches. And then for the 14-inch tripod, the widest is about 4 inches. One thing I want to point out is the the size of the legs for these two tripods. Even though the actual photo length is only 1 inch difference, there's a significant difference in the thickness of the legs. Now the issue with this 5-section tripod is that every section of the leg must be smaller than the previous section so that they can fold into each other. And if you compare the last section here, you can see that there's a significant difference. 13-inch tripod, this is about the size of a pencil. So it really doesn't put any confidence into the stability of the tripod. And I'll show you the result later. Now let's take a look at the difference between these two brands. So what I'm going to talk about now is the same for MeFOTO, Backpacker, Road Trip, and Globetrotter series of tripod. And for the Benro, the Tripster series 0, 1, and 2 have that similar features. So the difference between the two brands is that for the MeFOTO, the twist lock is just hard plastic. On the Benro Tripster, you actually have this rubber-coated twist locks, and it actually feels better with the rubber, so I like this better. Let's take a look at the ball heads in detail. This is a MeFOTO Backpacker S, and this is a Benro Tripster Series 1. Obviously, you can see that the sizes are different. The MeFOTO Backpacker has 3 dials. One's for the quick release, and one is for the main locking knob, and one is for the panning. This is very standard. Benro, on the other hand, has one additional dial, which is the friction control. So the friction control allows you to make minor adjustments to the camera position. So once the friction control is set up correctly, you can release the main knob, and the head is not able to move. And if you obviously you have to fine-tune the friction control, and once it's set correctly, you actually can move the head slightly. And then when you have the right framing down, you can now lock the main lock. Quick release plate also have different features. MeFOTO, once you unscrew the quick release all the way, the plate basically comes right off. On the Benro, there is a safety lock, so you can only unscrew the release partially. So at this point, the quick release plate cannot be removed. You actually have to pull this out to unscrew it further in order to remove quick release plate. Now both of them have a design where there is a screw at the bottom, both at the front and the rear, so that when you first unscrew the quick release, it is locked so that the plate cannot fall off forward or backwards. Let's take a look at the stability test. I shot 51 pairs of photo, and I used a Sony Alpha 6400. This is with a 16 to 50 kit lens or the 35 f1.8 prime lens. So this setup is actually not very heavy, but this is what I have. So let me cut to the chase and provide the results first, and then we can go through the details. The larger tripod, the Benro Tripster Series 1, is more stable than the smaller tripod, the MeFOTO Backpacker S. That's not a surprise. What is surprising is how close the result was. So out of 51 comparison pairs of photos, Benro is sharper in 17 cases, MeFOTO in 14 cases, and there were 20 ties. Just by those numbers, the delta doesn't seem like much, but the level of sharpness does differ. So when the MeFOTO loses, it often loses by a larger amount. There is more vibration. When the MeFOTO wins, most of the time the difference is not that significant. So from both the comparisons and the amount of shake, Benro, the larger tripod, is more stable. Here are the details of my test. So I took 51 pairs of photos. That's over 100 photos total. I changed quite a bit of variables. So for the column, I did extend it, with it up, or retract it with it down. I tried with and without the weight. So when I added the weight, I used water bottles in a backpack and hung it on the metal hook. I also tried with a finger on the shutter button and also with 5 and 10 second timers. And for the shutter speed, I used 1/100th of a second. That's my default, that's my reference. I test the range from 1/60th second to 1/1/5 of a second. I also did 1 second and 2 second exposures. Let's see the actual images. So all of these images are 100% crop. This is a case with center column down, no weight, and using the 10-second delay. The leftmost is a reference image at 1/100th of a second. The middle one is 1/25th of a second, and the Benro is sharper than the MeFOTO. The right one is 1/20th of a second, and Benro again is sharper than the MeFOTO. Now here in the middle we have the 1/10 seconds. Benro is sharper than MeFOTO. And then on the right side is 1/8 of a second. And the sharpness for both start to drop significantly at this longer shutter speed. And the difference is not significant, but I still find the Benro a little bit sharper. Now here are 1/6 and 1/5 of a second. I say it's a tie between the Benro and the MeFOTO, and both are not very sharp compared to the reference. Now here we see a series of 4 pairs of photo at a shutter speed of 2 seconds. The center column is down, weight was used, and 5-second delay was used. So in this case, it's kind of like a tie. The leftmost pair, the Benro is sharper. The middle 2 pairs is kind of like a tie. And the rightmost pair is probably a tad sharper for Benro, but it's really hard to see. Here are the spec comparison. So the MeFOTO is a smaller tripod, and Benro, the larger tripod, can handle more weight, has higher max height, has a slightly larger photo length, 14 inches versus 13. It weighs more, it costs more. So these are all not surprising. The Benro does have additional feature of interchangeable spike feet. The ball head is larger, it has a friction control for the ball head, and in my stability test, it wins. Also note that the Benro Tripster is an aluminum tripod, whereas the MeFOTO is a carbon fiber tripod. That can make a difference. Now, I mentioned in the part 1 of the video that there are many brands and models with the same design. However, the quality of material used can be different. So the result I got here probably cannot be applied to all the tripod mentioned in the first video.
Hey guys, just so you know, I'm going to take over this channel.
I hope you find this video useful. I'll try to do more videos like this in the future. Goodbye!